And I appreciate your T-shirt. I gotta say it on camera.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
You were great yesterday, by the way.
Thank
you.
You
were
thank
phenomenal.
You. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
My
it's
parents
true.
were very excited.
Oh
about
yeah?
me being
Good.
here.
You are not prepared for what is to come.
Timothée, this is a fascinating story about power struggle, mysticism, environmentalism, but and of course love, but it is also a story full of details. So how did you manage to respect every single detail of Paul's personality? I mean, I think you're just like Frank Herbert, Imagine Paul.
Thank you. That's the best compliment I could get. And the easiest answer is by simply living in the world. This wasn't a set on green screen where you have to be constantly referencing the book to imagine how it would feel. I mean, I felt like we were properly in it. And now that I've become a mega fan of the book, it was almost the real distraction, the real challenge was to not get lost in those details, not get so overwhelmingly impressed with just how intricate everything was, and really live in the human story of the journey, because that's ultimately why we're there as actors.
Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear.
Dune Part 2 transcends the limits of traditional cinema and offers the audience an epic scale event full of art and love. But how does Chani transcend the limits of strong female characters?
All the female characters in this are deeply complicated, and I think that, you know, strong female characters, I think strength can manifest in many different ways, whether that mean being quiet and subdued, or whether that be loud and passionate or terrifying, or, you know, there's so many ways that strength can be portrayed. And I think strength is when a character is nuanced and complicated and has more than one dimension to play and dig into. And I definitely think that not just my character, but I think every character has that to build off of.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
In the Dune universe, you have to be one with the desert in order to become a Fremen. But as a director, with what do you have to be one with in order to accomplish telling this story?
That's a good question. I have to be one with my actors, I will say. I need to be in sync with them. I need to be in a very close relationship with the actors. So we are to make sure that they are like all tuned to the same tone, to bring the same symphony together. Yeah.
In the Dune universe, you have to be one with the desert in order to become a Fremen. But as actors, with what you have to be one with in order to portray your character?
One with Denis. You have to be one with Denis. I mean, I understand Denis' sensibilities. I like going through things that are tough in order to earn your place in that story. You know, and what I love about Denis is that there's never an extraneous character. You know, what you think is a character that doesn't matter. It's like, oh, that character could come and go and not be in the story, and it wouldn't really affect the trajectory of what Timothy's character is going through, which is the crux of the story. I feel like Gurney's essential to that, and I love how much care Denis puts into every single character and where he fits.
The sand.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just that question reminds me of an old Meryl Streep quote. I think it was her, where she says, the part of your character you understand the least or you resent the most, something to this effect. She didn't say it like this, but the part of your character you understand the least and resent the most, once you wrap your head around that, then you're in the shoes of the character.
That's
good, right?
That's a good quote.
Good, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I think it's, you got to find your personal way
so
in,
true.
and you got to wrap your head around where you're not finding your way in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you, Austin?
I mean, that's so well said. And in a way, I think that's, you just kind of unlocked the thing that I've been trying to figure out how to put into words. Because with Fade, when you read the things that he does, the trap is to judge the character of a person. You know, to judge, because me as Austin, I'm morally, you know, I'd like to think that I'm morally very different than Fade. But then you you've got to get past the judgment and get inside his eyes, you know, get inside his mind, and so that the part that you may feel furthest from, once you're able to lock that in, and it really it liberates you and helps you to see the world through their eyes.
To be one, I think it's really, that is, I think, if anything, a good analogy for everyone. I feel like everyone who is a part of this feels like they are a part of one beautiful thing. Denis, Greg, every single department head, from stunts to hair, makeup, costume, everybody feels like they are a part of something bigger than themselves. And ultimately, we have to feel like one. And while my character is me, like playing the character, I think I am only a amalgamation of the work of 50 gazillion other people, you know, who have also thought and cared just as much as I have about her. And it starts again with the source material, and then with Denis' vision, and then everybody kind of bringing their own heart to it. So I think it's just being one, literally, with each other.
Deal with this prophet. Send assassins.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
I love your character because it is obvious how strong she is at the beginning, just by witnessing everything that is happening to everybody. So I want to ask you, now that you will be able to be part of the audience, not only the story, how would you like the people to witness your character and the story?
How would I like them to witness her? I hope in a similar way to how I witnessed the script. When I read the script, well, actually, I finished the script, and only in the last scene did I then go, oh my God, I now need to go back and reread it. Because once I figured out that she was completely clued in, I then went back to every single look, every single glance, every single moment she's listening, every single moment she's taking a lesson or an order or whatever that may be. She is constantly aware, and she is constantly, I suppose, keeping note, because she's a very calculated character. And so I think that was a great moment for me when reading the script, of going, oh wow, she's so much more than I thought she was in every scene. So I think yeah, that's probably how I'd want the audience to be clocking her, just to be aware of her internal growth as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail.
Frank Herbert was ahead of his time. I mean, his novels talks about environmentalism, power struggle, and the danger of religious fanatics. And it's curious because everything resonates with what happens nowadays. But I think you're also ahead of your time, you know? So how did you manage to outdid genres like action, adventure, sci-fi, to create something that will talk to the future generations?
I think that, if I may, I agree with you when you talk about Frank Herbert, that it's quite amazing how he foresaw being inspired by the main strong vectors of the 20th century, how he foresaw what the future could be, sadly, and I say sadly because it was not a nice future, and he was sadly very prescient, and the book is more relevant now than it used to be at the time. That is why I thought it was a good idea to make a new adaptation.
That's what I think Dune is all about. Not only is it one of the most ecological films, I think, created, but on a personal note, there's no character that you're not affected by, and I think that is because of Denis and because he cares. I said it yesterday. He cares about the intimacies of a character, and then all the big stuff beyond that is just kind of fireworks.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate your answer, and I appreciate your T-shirt. I gotta say it on camera.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.